Hello, my name is Randy Higgins and I am a Senior Support Engineer for Microsoft. In this session, we will be covering the basic steps needed to provision Microsoft Dynamics Online payment services. Today we will go over the learning objectives, set up prerequisites, creating a customer and a payment service account, signing up for a payment provider, activating the payment method, and then we will recap with other notes. At the end of this session, you should be able to create a customer and payment service account, sign up with a payment provider, and then activate that payment method. Let's talk about the prerequisites. Before we start setting up a customer and their accounts, the partner may want to first obtain some basic setup information. When you begin creating that customer account and payment service in Dynamics Online, you will be prompted to enter a few pieces of customer-specific information. These are not necessarily needed during the initial setup, but having these on hand will vastly help speed up the setup process. First, you will need to obtain the customer's voice account number. This will validate the payment service and enables the ability to create production service accounts. Otherwise, you will only be able to create test accounts that do not link with a payment provider. Secondly, when you create the customer account, you will need to enter the organization's contact information. This includes the company name and address, and the name of the administrator who will be the main contact with their phone number and contact email. Next, you will need to obtain the administrator's Microsoft account to grant them the initial administrator access to the customer account that you will be creating. Lastly, if the customer already has a merchant account set up with a payment provider that works with Dynamics Online, you can obtain that merchant information sheet now, and then we will just enter that later to activate the service. Alright, let's get started. The first step is creating the customer and their payment service. This step is performed by the partner in the Dynamics Online Partner Portal. We will log into the Partner Portal, create a customer, create a payment service, and then send an activation email to the customer. Let's go ahead and walk through these steps. So first we'll need to open up an internet browser and go to the Dynamics Online site. All right, once we're at the site, we go to the For Partners link, since we do want to log into the partner portal. And you should already have an account, so go ahead and click Sign In. And you'll want to sign in with your partner account. Go ahead and click Sign In. And this will bring us to the customer list. And since we will be creating a new customer, we can ignore the list and go ahead and click New Customer at the top here. Now the first field on this is for the customer account number. This is their voice account number, which when entered, that will validate the payment service and allow us to link a payment provider. So you will want to enter that in order to create that production service. In today's demo, I will actually be leaving mine blank, but I will still be creating a production service. The second field here is for the Microsoft product that the customer is using. I'll go ahead and leave mine at the default here, which is Microsoft Dynamics RMS. And the next one, enter in the organization name, their address, go ahead and fill out the rest of the form. Alright, here's the contact first name, so this would be the administrator contact. Go ahead and fill that form. And this is just a contact email address. Alright, once that form is complete, we want to go ahead and click on the Create Customer. This brings us back to our customer list, so we will want to go ahead and look for our company that we just created. So here's my DOPS test company. And we'll want to go ahead and we want to create our payment service for this customer. So go ahead and click Add Service at the top. And here you'll see there's a list of services. we will want to click on the payment services. So this brings in the information that we set up in our organization. We can either use the existing name that we had given the organization, or if you wanted to create a new one, you can create a new company name. I would just go ahead and use the pre-existing company name. The next field here is the purpose of the account. As you can see, there is options for demo and test. For those ones, we cannot link a payment provider. So for our instance, we do want to select production so that we can sign up for a payment provider account. And in the country region, we want to leave that as United States. And then we want to go ahead and click Add Service. All right, that added the service to our list. This just gives us some basic information that we want to go ahead and configure that. So go ahead and click Close. The screen will refresh and bring us to the service list just for that specific payment service we created. As you can see here, it does show as a status of pending activation. So we will need to send that to our customer to actually activate the service. So let's go ahead and put a check mark next to it. And then we want to click Send Activation. Alright, now in this window, this is where we actually set up the administrator who will have the initial access to this payment service. So if you want to go ahead and type in the name of the administrator, the next field here is the contact email address. This can differentiate from the Windows Live ID, which is the next field here, also known as the Microsoft account, just in case they do use a different email for their contacts rather than their actual sign-in Microsoft account. In my instance, they are the same, so I will be entering in the same. If they are different, when the customer does go in to activate this service, they want to make sure they are logging in with this Windows Live ID right here. Alright, we'll go ahead and click Activate. And now you can see that the service status has changed to invitation sent. So that will send an email out to the customer asking them to activate that service. So that is all the partner needs to do at this time. So go ahead and close out of this window. And let's go back to our presentation. Alright, so since that's all that the partner needs to perform, we'll go on to our next step, which is signing up for a payment provider. And this step must be performed by the customer. They will open that invitation email that we sent and accept the terms of agreement. Then they'll apply to the payment provider and obtain their merchant account information from that payment provider. So let's go ahead and look at those steps. So since we need to log in as the customer, let's go ahead and open up a new internet browser. And in my instance, I will need to be going to Outlook.com, and we need to open up that email message that was just sent out. So go ahead and sign in. Alright, and here you can see here is the email message I just received from Dynamics Online at Microsoft.com. Mine did come to my inbox. You may want to make sure this does not go to your junk mail. And if you read through this, it tells you that a new online service account has been created, and there will be a link right here. As far as clicking this link will activate the service, or you could paste this into your browser. So go ahead and click on that link. Also note that there is the Windows Live ID listed here for the account that you will want to sign in with. You must sign in with that account in order to activate this service. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that link, and since I'm already signed in with that account, it does direct me directly to the activation window. If you weren't previously signed in, or if you were signed in with the different Microsoft account, you want to make sure and sign out and then re-sign in with that correct account listed in that email. Alright, so once you get to this screen, you'll go ahead and review and accept the terms. So here we can see here is the View the Terms of Service Agreement and View the Privacy Statement. So you can go ahead and click on those and view those terms. And if you accept those, go ahead and click on the I Accept Terms of Service Agreement and click the Activate button. This will actually bring you directly into the customer portal, as you can see, and this will show you the list, which is we only have one payment service, so this shows our one payment service. We can go ahead and click on the Open button to open up that service. And now what we need to do is sign up for a payment provider. So on the left hand side, you'll see in the navigation pane there's an option for payment providers. Let's click on that. And this will bring up a list of the payment providers available with Dynamics Online. As you can see, we have First Data, PayPal, and CyberSource. You can go ahead and review the features of each of these and compare those providers along with the pricing. And once you have chosen the payment provider that you would like to use, go ahead and click on the Sign Up Now button. Now this will do one of two things. This will either bring you to an additional page for that payment provider to sign up, go through their application process to sign up for that service. Or in this instance, this did refresh back to our payment methods window and put our current payment provider in our list here. For this particular payment provider, what this did was actually use our organization information that we had previously entered and sends that over to First Data. And First Data will get in touch with us to set up that merchant account. If you don't want to wait for First Data to call you, there is a customer service phone number here that you can call to help speed up that process. And this is in the customer portal as stated. So as you can see here is the status is in progress. There is nothing under actions. That is because the partner must activate the account. So the partner will see the activate button. But for the customer, it currently does state it is in progress. So we do need to wait for the partner to activate that. Once the customer goes through and creates that merchant account with their payment provider, they will receive their merchant information. And they will need to provide that merchant information to their partner so that they can activate the account. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of this since we are done with the customer portal for now. And let's go back to our presentation. So this brings us to our next step, which is activating the payment method. Once again, this step can only be performed by the partner, and this is the partner that is associated to the customer. Not by just any partner. They need to be granted access by the customer to have access to that payment service. So once the partner obtains the merchant information about that payment provider merchant account, they will go ahead and go in and activate that payment method. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at that demo. All right, so we will be logging back into the partner portal. So let's go back to our Dynamics Online site. And we can click on our 4 partners. And it looks like I need to sign in again. So go ahead and enter in the Microsoft account for your partner portal. And sign in. Alright, so once again, this does bring us to our customer list. So we want to go ahead and find our customer in this list. And then we want to click on the hyperlink onto the services column to access those services. So this brings me to a list of my services for this particular customer. And as you can see, this service is now showing as active since the customer did go ahead and go in and activate that service. The service itself is active, but we need to activate the payment method. So we need to go ahead and select the payment service, and at the top, let's go ahead and open this service. Now on the left-hand side, what we need to do is click on the payment methods, and we will see a screen very, very similar to what the customer saw, except for now we do see on the right-hand side the activate button is available. So let's go ahead and click on that activate link, and this will bring us to a page to enter in that merchant account information. So we can go ahead and fill out this form with our merchant account information. If you do need assistance on what exactly to enter into this form, we do actually have a separate documentation that does list what should be entered into each field. Each different payment provider that was selected does have a different form. So for this particular instance, I am filling out the First Data EMPS. Alright, so now I have filled out that form. What I need to do is go ahead and click on the Activate button. And as you can see that the status is now listed as active. but we still are not finished. We do still need to choose which accepted payment methods that this customer can accept: Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover. And that is actually set up with that payment provider, whether you accept all of those or only some of those. In this instance, I will go ahead and select each one of those. All right, and once you have those selected, you can either go ahead and click Save, or you can save and close the form to exit. But at this point, the payment service is now active. All right, so what we did today is we went through and created a customer in the payment service account. We then signed up with a payment provider, and then we activated the payment method. Congratulations, you are now ready to start using Dynamics Online Payment Services with your ERP to accept customer payments. I do want to point out our disclaimer that this demonstration is based on Microsoft Dynamics Online Payment Services as of January 2014. All features are based on current capabilities and subject to change without notice. Because Microsoft must respond to changing marketing conditions, this demonstration should not be interpreted as a commitment on the part of Microsoft. This demonstration is for informational purposes only, representing Microsoft's current view as of the date of its publication. Microsoft makes no warranties, whether express, implied, or statutory, as to the content of this demonstration. Thank you for taking the time today to watch this presentation.